What is up, Dom Army? It's your boy Royce. Today's video is going to be a day in the life of a medical student on family medicine. I've been on family medicine for 1 week so far, and I'm on it for a month total. Unfortunately, my site is an hour drive each way, and I'm a little frustrated at how far it is because it costs me a lot of time and a lot of gas money. Valuable time that I could be spending on making YouTube videos, and money I could be spending on buying YouTube subscribers. Yeah, the situation itself is honestly not ideal, and technically we get our family medicine sites based on a lottery ranking system, and I just forgot to rank. So it's unfortunate I have the situation, but it's honestly been a really great experience because I've been able to see a lot of different kinds of people. Yeah, the game plan right now is to get dressed, wear my dress shirt and white coat that I don't like wearing at all, and drive over. It's 6:50 right now, so I'll be able to get ready in 15 minutes and drive over and get there fashionably late at 8:05 a.m. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. So I just drove for a very long 2 minutes to get to McDonald's, and they had this really fire deal on the McDonald's app that was like spend $1 and get a free bagel sandwich. So I got a free egg bagel sandwich. Yeah, I'm gonna carb up so I have some energy for the long drive, because you know, driving takes a lot of energy. The long drive itself really does suck, unfortunately, but I've found ways to adapt and make the ride feel shorter than it actually is. Texting and driving really helps. Especially when I get lonely, you know, I just hit up someone and be like, hey, what's going on? I'm on the highway. I've also used this as an opportunity to better discover myself, and I do that through meditation. So I'll just, you know, close my eyes and, you know, only for like 10 seconds or so until someone honks their horn. So there's a nice little intrinsic timer there. And yeah, that's been a nice way to relieve stress, because being a student doctor is an extremely stressful job. This sandwich is really hitting the spot right now. So we're at a stoplight, so it's safe for me to do this. The bagel sandwiches are by far the best breakfast sandwiches at McDonald's. And personally, I think it's really important for me to eat McDonald's and other foods like this on a regular basis, because I'm counseling my patients on healthy eating. And I have to know what it's like to eat unhealthy in order to express this level of empathy to my patients. So, you know, it's all in being a good doctor is why I'm eating this kind of food. At my computer now, I am pre-charting on my patients. This involves looking through their entire chart, for example, previous encounters with doctors, looking at their labs, looking at their x-rays, things like that, to make sure that I'm fully prepared and in the know for when I go see the patients actually. Also, I will look up specific issues in databases like UpToDate. So for example, my first patient today has a new facial rash. Make sure that I have the complete differential diagnosis for what the facial rash could be. Today is one of those rare days where they have free food for breakfast. So I couldn't resist. You know, sitting in front of a computer, typing and thinking all day really just burns a lot of calories. So I'm really glad I'm carb loading like I am. In the break room, they still had the free food from this morning. I thought I could help the office out by taking some of the food off their hands. I got the cheese Danish, but I balanced it out with some blueberries. This channel is all about healthy eating. I just finished seeing my first patient with the facial rash. Turns out it wasn't anything serious. So now I'm going to finish writing up the note for the patient, including my, you know, physical exam, my assessment and plan for the facial rash. This next patient has knee pain, and so I'm going to, you know, refamiliarize myself with the different, you know, knee tests, testing for the various ligaments and menisci in the knee. Right now I'm at a good stopping point and I'm just chilling out. I wanted to make a note that for my outfit, I have to wear my white coat. So this has the Perelman School of Medicine embroidery on it, and there's my name with no letters after it. And I kind of don't like wearing the white coat or like dress clothes in general. It just feels uncomfortable on me. I especially don't like wearing this dress shirt in particular. This is the same one that I wore for my day in the life white coat ceremony video, in case you've watched that before. And before I was wearing a tie with it, but now I can't even button up this colored shirt without completely just strangling myself. It's like a 15.5-inch circumference, and I guess my neck has just been like growing exponentially since last fall. Seeing my diet, I guess that makes sense. And it also makes sense given all the neck ups I do in the gym. I just finished seeing the last patient. Turned out there wasn't any kind of acute problems going on. The knee pain was just due to some non-inflammatory process like osteoarthritis. So my last patient for this morning thinks he has hemorrhoids. So this really brings me back to my colorectal surgery days, which I think back to very fondly. So I'm going to review his chart and of course review the differential diagnosis for what this could be. Could be, internal hemorrhoids, external hemorrhoids, anal fissures, perianal abscesses, a lot of fun stuff. And I think I'll refresh my memory by looking through a bunch of these kinds of photos on Google Images. I'm really glad I have this last case before lunch because that'll really get my appetite up. We just got some pizza from the break room. Turns out they had some free pizza today, so super excited about that. And they also had some free salads, which are also a nice plus, I guess. This pizza is absolutely delicious, and I'm just so grateful that I have this opportunity to increase my empathy for my patients. Just finished the first round, and I couldn't resist but get a slice of buffalo chicken. It was just calling to me. As you can tell, self-control is one of my strong suits. Just finished lunch. My next appointment's gonna be just an annual checkup for someone in their 60s. This person was unvaccinated for COVID and ended up getting a really, really bad case of COVID last year. They were on the ventilator for a while. They recently just got off of this supplemental oxygen and are doing better now. This appointment's gonna cover their recovery from COVID and also their chronic issues. For example, hypertension, high cholesterol. In family medicine, most of the patients you'll be seeing are through annual checkups. And that's actually a really important part of American healthcare is the prevention, obviously. I probably won't do family medicine in the future, especially after I made that YouTube video basically saying that I want to be an ophthalmologist. So if I made a YouTube video on it, then that basically means I committed to it, right? Even though I won't go into these kinds of specialties, I really do appreciate the value of preventative medicine. For example, geriatrics, primary care, family medicine. I just finished this last case. Everything kind of went as expected when it comes to an annual checkup. There was a new thing though. Ever since he contracted COVID, he's basically noticed worsening arthritis in essentially all of his joints. And when describing this joint pain, he said it's worse in the morning and lasts typically for more than an hour after he wakes up. In my mind, this fit the clinical picture of some kind of inflammatory arthritis. One, because it affects many joints symmetrically. Two is the temporality that, kind of gets better with activity and gets worse with rest. So I brought this up to my attending and he agreed with my proposed plan. This next patient I'm going to see is presenting with about 2 weeks of abdominal pain. Because of my surgery clerkship, I feel extremely comfortable working with the presentation of abdominal pain. So I'm feeling good, I'm feeling confident going into this next case. So I just finished 3 patients back to back to back. One was the abdominal pain. Turns out it was probably some kind of stress-induced inflammatory bowel syndrome. Nothing acute like diverticulitis or appendicitis, so that was good. The second case was someone following up on a chronic issue, which is their diabetes. So we just checked their hemoglobin A1C, their blood sugar levels, and made sure that everything was within appropriate limits, and we just maintained their medications. Had some really interesting stories talking about his construction business where he drills like pipes under the ground. It's always really interesting talking to the patients. It's one of my favorite things to do. And the last patient was an annual checkup for a 21-year-old guy. Because the person was 21, they had normal blood pressure, normal basically everything. And so when I presented the patient, I was like, oh, this person with no significant past medical history, no surgeries, no medical conditions, no meds, nothing, is doing well. We'll see him in a year. So this was technically the end of my schedule. I'm gonna finish up my day by completing the few notes that I have left. Once that's done, I'll start commuting back home. So I finally just got out of the office. I'm really happy because the weather right now is gorgeous. I'm gonna start driving home. So I just got home, finally. So yeah, overall, I've had a very solid day in family medicine. And I think you guys, my audience, got to see a very ideal day in family medicine because 1, there was a lot of free food. And 2, I got to make a lot of new diagnoses. And that's not really commonplace in family medicine. We're following up on someone's chronic diabetes. And there's not much mentally stimulating stuff going on there. But yeah, even though I had an exceptionally great day in family medicine, and you guys are able to see that, there's only, a few minutes of excitement throughout my day. I do really enjoy the aspect of being able to talk to the patients. It's nice, developing some kind of rapport over the long term. But again, for me, I made the YouTube video talking about being an ophthalmologist. So I think I'm pretty much committed to that. So now the game plan for tonight is to eat some dinner. I'm actually gonna eat the lunch that I brought to work. And overall, I hope this was an entertaining and insightful experience for you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.